Hello and very good morning to all our viewers. This is WION Wallet. I am Sumit Chaturvedi. Let's see what is making headlines in the world of business this morning. The fear of problems in Brexit negotiations is looming large over British companies. Companies have frozen their marketing budgets. The car market in EU is down because of Brexit. Also, in the signs of more troubles continuing in UK's economy, Britain's second largest supermarket group, Sainsbury's, is seeking to cut up to 2,000 jobs. India is all set to discuss more issues linked to much publicized reform of GST in its next meeting on November 10. Indian markets open in red, other Asian markets gain as all eyes are on China's Congress. And the fear of problems in Brexit negotiations is looming large over Britain. British companies have frozen their marketing budgets during the third quarter amid rising uncertainties about economy as the UK looks to exit European Union, a survey has showed. The survey showed that the UK firms have frozen their marketing spend, and this is over uncertainties facing UK's economy. There is a stagnation of marketing budgets, especially in the third quarter. Growth in ad spending is also going to be marginal, just 0.6%, and ad spending is expected to stagnate in 2018. And UK inflation was at highest level in more than 5 years last month. The high inflation in UK was driven largely by pound's fall since last year's vote to leave the EU. It has squeezed household incomes, causing broader economic growth to slow down. Survey conducted by IHS Markit on behalf of Institute of Practitioners showed that 21% of survey panel recorded an upward revision to marketing budgets from the second quarter, while 11% of companies recorded a trim. And among other things, in Europe, the uncertainties over Brexit had now hit UK car demand as well. New registrations of cars in European Union has come down markedly in recent weeks. Fresh figures show that particularly UK auto market is going through a rough patch amid Brexit-linked uncertainties. And 1.46 million vehicles were there, and German car sales have been decreased by 3.3%. But Italy and Spain have bucked the trend, the two large economies of EU. Volkswagen has remained a market leader with 23.5% market share in Germany. Though Italy and Spain have bucked the trend and have recorded increases in the first 9 months of the year, Volkswagen Group has remained market leader with 23.5% share sale, with France Renault logging a 10.3% share fall between January and September. And staying with UK, in the signs of more troubles going on for UK's economy, Britain's second largest supermarket group behind Tesco, Sainsbury's, is seeking to cut up to 2,000 jobs, mainly in its payroll and human resources departments. Sainsbury's is UK's biggest supermarket group, and the job cut could lead to $1,200 million of savings for Sainsbury's. And Tesco, ASDA, Morris, they are other big supermarket group in the UK. Sainsbury's is consulting on measures that would lead to a loss of 1,400 jobs by removing all in-store, human resources and payroll clerk roles. The rise of privately owned budget chains Aldi and Lidl has transformed competitive landscape of British food retailing over the last decade, driving down returns of Britain's big four players: market leader Tesco, Sainsbury's, ASDA and Morris. It was earlier reported Sainsbury's was considering cutting 1,000 jobs as part of a drive to save $659 million in cost. In March, the company had revealed it was cutting 400 jobs in a restructuring of its store operations. Moving to US, where the ongoing row between US aircraft maker Boeing and Canadian Bombardier is still far from over. Boeing has said that Bombardier's C-series jets could still be hit with high US import duties even if they are assembled in Alabama through an industry-changing deal with Airbus. The deal announced on Monday gives Airbus a majority stake in Bombardier troubled C-series jetliner program, securing planes' future and giving the Canadian firm a possible way out of a damaging trade dispute with Boeing, in which the US Commerce Department has threatened to impose 300% import duties. Boeing said the announced deal has no effect on pending US Department of Commerce proceedings. Any duties finally levied against the C-series will have to be paid on any imported C-series airplane or part, or it will not be permitted into the country. And in a development that can give relief to Indian carriers Indigo and Go Air, US airplane engine maker Pratt & Whitney is close to outlining a fix for problems with the combustion chamber lining in its new geared turbofan or GTF engines. The Pratt & Whitney is going to reveal the engine fix soon, and it will give a relief to Indian carriers. Engine problems has hit Indian carriers so far, especially Indigo and Go Air. The engine issues have grounded several A320 neo planes across the world, including more than a dozen in India too. And Indigo and Go Air have grounded as many as 12 planes because of these engine troubles so far. Engine issues have been resulted into cancellation of dozens of flights when it comes to Go Air and Indigo. The engine problems have hit deliveries of Airbus A320 neo planes. The Pratt & Whitney is owned by United Technologies and has had 3 teething issues with its GTF engines for Airbus planes. It has fixed problems with the fan blade and an oil seal, but now faces production backlogs. A third issue with the combustion chamber lining has been particularly problematic in India due to pollution and extreme weather conditions. Indian Airlines, Indigo and privately owned Go Air are among the biggest customers for the A320 neo planes, with about 30 between them today and around 500 on order. Pratt & Whitney said it is working with airline operators to fix the issues, noting that new and overhauled engines have incorporated improvements since March. Moving back to US, where President Trump's efforts to reduce immigration to the US, including new constraints on H-1B visas for skilled workers, have prompted countries ranging from China to Canada to set up recruiting of tech talent and startup companies that might once have found a home in the US. US tech companies expanding operation in Mexico and changing US immigration stance. Since the beginning of the year, Amazon has opened a new engineering office in Mexico City, while Facebook has partnered with local groups to develop technical talent in the region. Oracle Corp plans to hire thousands of additional employees at its offices in Mexico City of Jalisco.
The fact that engineering is a globalized profession, that many of the things engineers learn and do share a common language, which is English, has allowed us to bring people from Egypt, from Brazil, from many parts of the world. And it's very good for Guadalajara and Mexico in general, because immigration and different points of view allow you to create a more advanced culture when it comes to understanding what the world looks like and how does it work.
Nowadays we have 60 startups on our pipeline. Most of them are coming from United States, from places like Austin or Silicon Valley, and they are really interested in moving to Mexico to set up operations. Definitely Mexico, it's a country willing to embrace every single talented person that might want to return, or actually if it's coming from a different country, to be part of this tech industry. We welcome them and we want to embrace them.
For Mexico, though, there is a special urgency. More than 600,000 undocumented immigrants of Mexican origin are currently covered by U.S. Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals or DACA program, which grants legal status to undocumented people who were brought to the U.S. as children. Now, all of those individuals may soon have to look for work abroad as a result of Trump administration's September decision to let DACA expire. And Facebook has acquired a new app that's popular with teens, TBH, or To Be Honest. It enables you to rate your friends and compliment them. It also gives user anonymity. But it's only available in the US. India will take some time. Take a look at this story.
Facebook has something new to like. The app TBH, or To Be Honest, which is popular with teenagers. The app enables you to answer multiple choice questions about friends who then receive the poll results as compliments. Here's how the TBH app works. The more time someone chooses you for a poll, the more gems you have, the more features and questions you can unlock. The app also has the advantage of anonymity, but with positive vibes. If someone picks your name in a poll, you will get a notification and only see the gender of the person who voted for you, nothing else. The app comes with a shuffle button so you can choose a new set of friends or skip the vote. Sample questions include who has the best smile or who makes me laugh the hardest. More than 5 million people have downloaded the app and sent more than 1 billion messages in the past few weeks. Facebook and TBH want to grow users and build a community. TBH was all the more attractive as it adds a new element to Facebook's current platforms, WhatsApp and Instagram. The app is not available on Android but can be downloaded for free from the App Store. Also, the deal will make the TBH founders employees of Facebook. Bureau Report, WION.
Moving to India, where the government is all set to discuss more issues linked to much publicized reform of Goods and Services Tax or GST in its next council meeting that is scheduled to be held in northeastern state of Assam, its capital Guwahati, on November 10. GST next meeting is likely to look into issues linked to construction, which needs to be restructured. Issues also linked to infrastructure will also be addressed. There is a 12% GST on sale of under construction units from July 1st onwards when GST was implemented. A stamp duty rate is charged by states over and above the GST for the real estate. This has subsumed value-added tax or VAT and service tax charged under previous taxation system. Now, under GST, while there is an increase of 6.5% in terms of the tax payable by flat purchases, there is also an option of builder passing the benefit of input tax credit to the buyers. India switched to GST regime on July 1st, scrapping layers of indirect taxes, including sales tax, service tax, octroi and VAT, among others. Supreme Court ban on fireworks this Diwali in Delhi NCR is set to bring a significant loss to those in the fireworks manufacturing industry, especially in Sivakasi in Tamil Nadu, which supplies 70% of crackers to the country. The fireworks industry in Sivakasi, with a turnover of close to 4,000 crore or around $0.8 billion with lakhs of employees, feels the heat of the order. However, business began as usual 2 weeks ago in Chennai that seems not much affected by the Apex Court's ban. Take a look at the story.
Punithan has been in the fireworks business for the last 25 years. And all these years, he says, the weather has been their only hindrance to business. Year after year, Punithan and 100 others like him have set up stalls at this point in Chennai.
It's one day celebration. It's not 365 days celebration. Only one day celebration. How that pollution will affect? That even that vehicle, that the government should think other angle. Banning crackers is not for solution for that pollution.
The ban and controversies around use of fireworks has not stopped more people from entering the business, says Chenna Keshav, who began his new fireworks manufacturing company a year ago with 300 workers.
The window packing, the attraction packing, the
craze for fireworks will never end. We bring in new and attractive kinds every year.
Even while it rains and even as a week is left for the big celebration, customers buzz around these shops for their yearly purchase.
We buy for around, this is only for gift, we buy around 5,000 to 8,000 Plus for the family separately we buy that.
However, there are those who believe there can be reasonable restrictions.
டெல்லியில வந்து பொல்யூஷன் வந்து ரொம்ப ஓவரா ரொம்ப பேட் கண்டிஷன்ல இருக்கறனால அவங்க வந்து பேன் பண்ணிருக்காங்க.
True that firecrackers do cause pollution. They can ban the dangerous ones, but complete ban is not reasonable.
கோர்ட் வந்து திரும்பியும் வந்து ரீகன்சிடர் பண்ணனும்.
Deteriorating lives due to pollution on one side and livelihoods at stake on the other side. A difficult situation where a balance between the two seems impossible. Regulation of usage and rehabilitation of these workers may seem like the way out, but that too is a distant dream. With video journalist Ram Revthirajvan in Chennai for WION.
And World Bank has issued a warning for Pakistan's economy. World Bank said Pakistan needs around $17 billion to cover rising current account deficit and debt payments in the year 2018. Pakistan is also facing a rising fiscal deficit that could put macroeconomic environment at risk. This has resulted into increased external financing needs of 5 to 6% of GDP in financial year 2018, or around $17 billion to cover rising current account deficit and debt payments. Pakistan has done well in stabilizing its economy over the past 4 years and in achieving 10-year high growth of 5.3% in financial year 2017. And from Pakistan to Greece, where the economy has faced recession last year and is still not out of woods yet. Greece economy contracted by 0.2% last year. It has faced recession in 2016, the head of Statistics Service said. Well, Greece economy has contracted by 0.2% last year. That is not a bad news for economy that was hit by crisis 3 years ago. And the economy there contracted by 0.2%. Economy has performed worse than expectations when Greece economy is concerned. And economic growth projections have been cut down to 1.8% from 2.7%, which were earlier projections. And staying with another Diwali story, this Diwali witnesses massive decline in sale of Chinese goods in India. 1 year ago, city markets during Diwali were swamped by Chinese goods. But this year, Chinese products like lights, gift items, lamps and wall hangings, among other items, might witness a decline by 40 to 45% in terms of sales. The fall will happen because of preferences of Indian-owned handmade products over the Chinese goods. Reasons for slump is also being attributed to anti-China sentiments which were triggered due to Doklam standoff. According to an estimate, value of Chinese goods sold in 2016 during Diwali was around $1 billion, out of which around $0.7 billion was for products such as toys, fancy lights, gift items, plasticware, decorative goods, etc. This festive season, vendors are unhappy with the sales. Consumers are not interested in purchasing Chinese products while displaying interest in local products, including diyas. In past few years, there was a huge demand for made in India fancy lights. And when it comes to Chinese products, once sold, no shopkeeper gives a guarantee. And the charm for moving overseas has waned in Indians as political uncertainty abroad, coupled with Brexit, has spurred highly skilled Indian talent to stay at home to look for employment. Now, as per a recent data released by global job site Indeed, there has been a 38% decrease in Indians looking to move to the US and 42% decrease in Indians eyeing for UK in the last year. The prospects of Brexit is likely to have deterred Indian job seekers looking for an opportunity in the UK, as countries such as Germany and Ireland have seen an increase in Indians actively looking for jobs. The decrease in the number of Indians looking to move abroad also extends to the Gulf, as evidenced by 21% decrease. And before we leave, let's touch Indian markets quickly, where Indian markets have today also opened in red. The markets are still under pressure. Nifty down by 31 points, Sensex down there by 82 points. From the last 2 years, Indian markets are on a losing spree, where it looks like some profit booking is happening a day before Diwali as well. In Asian markets, other Asian markets, they are steady as investors are keeping an eye on China's Party Congress. So that is one big event to be looked out for today. Later on, we will see what happens to the markets. But so far, Indian markets have opened in red, and all other Asian markets are looking for Q from China's Congress that is currently on.